Hello everyone, my name is Altus, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over the best single player settings and mods for your playthrough on any map in ARK. I've personally looked for videos on this in the past, and there weren't very many updated or good ones, so I'm going to make this so all of you out there that are looking for this information can find the best new and updated settings for your world. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So here in the setup menu, for your single player world, if you look on the left, there will be sliders for different tweaks you can make. So the first one right here, difficulty level, I would slide all the way to 1. This will make it a little challenging, but not too challenging. Once you go to fight the bosses, I would move this down to around 0.2 or so that the bosses aren't incredibly hard and kill you every single time. After difficulty level, dino damage through structure resistance you can keep the same. The one that we're going to be focusing on now is XP multiplier. XP multiplier is an important one since you have no tribe to help you out with gaining XP. So I would put this around 2 to 3 depending upon how hard you want it to be. If you put it all the way at 3, you're going to get XP much faster, but if you put it at 2, it'll be a little bit faster but not too easy. So I'm just going to put this at 2 for my playthrough. If you do want to make this higher than 3, you can just type in right here and it will add your custom value. But anything above 3 I feel like is way too high, so I'm just going to put it at 2 for now. Taming speed I'm going to put at 8. This is going to make it so that you don't have to wait 12 hours to tame a single Rex. These two you can keep the same. Dino harvesting damage I'm going to make it at 3.5 because right down here at harvest amount I'm going to make it 2. So the reason why I only upped this 0.3 is because the harvest amount directly affects this. So if I put it to say like 5, it would make dino harvesting damage 10 since the harvest amount is times 2. So just adding the 0.2 is going to make it a little easier. Alright, so next is player character water drain. I'm going to lower this to about 0.6 because it's incredibly annoying when you have to go and drink water every 10 seconds. This is just overall going to make your experience much better because the water drain is so high automatically in the game. So putting it at 0.6 is what it really should have been at. This will just make your experience much more enjoyable. Player food drain through harvesting damage you can keep the same. I put Dino Count at 2 so you can just have a little bit more dinos. Since you don't have a tribe where everyone in the tribe is going to have their own specific dinos that they own because they tamed, you're not going to have that, so you're just going to have all personal dinos. So I'm just going to make it 2 so that you can have a bunch of dinos for yourself. Alright, so next is non-dedicated host tether distance. This one doesn't really matter unless you're playing online or with friends. If you are playing online or with friends though, you can just put this onto like a really high value like 999,000 or so. So putting this at a high value like that is going to make it so that nobody will ever tether to you. So that just makes the experience much more enjoyable because if you put it at its default value, if someone goes like 2,000 meters away from you, they automatically get pulled back, and that's really annoying to play with. So if you're going to be playing with friends, just put this to a really high value. So all of these checkboxes are basically just personal preference, so go through those and check and uncheck whatever you want. Except for max difficulty, make sure that is checked, because that's going to force the max dinosaur level to 150 instead of 120 on some map. That's just going to make it so that when you tame the dinosaurs, they're going to be able to go to a much higher level, and that just makes the game so much easier. Alright, so I also check notify player left, show map location, that should be right here. I also check disable structure collision, that's right here. I also allow multiple platform floors. What this one does is just makes it so that you can place any structures anywhere that won't clip into the terrain. This one allows multiple floors on dino platforms, just makes it so that you can build better bases on platforms. I also check allow unlimited respects. And then show creative mode. That's just if you want to go into creative mode at any time. There's just a button for it, so you don't have to use commands. Alright, so after you've done all of those, you can just go to the advanced tab. This stuff doesn't really matter unless you're making a server, so you can probably just skip all of that. Skip all these sliders, and then right here, check force allow cave flyers. Now skip down to world settings, and this is where the important settings come into play. Since you're on single player and the world stops time whenever you log off, you're going to want all of these down to the lowest, not poop interval, that one doesn't really matter. You're going to want lay egg interval and mating interval down to 0.01. That's just going to make it so that mating can happen much faster. So right after you mate two dinosaurs, they can mate immediately. And the lay egg interval, that's just going to make the time lower between laying eggs so that you can get more eggs to hatch. I'm going to move egg hatch speed to 10. That's just going to make it so that eggs hatch much faster. It's going to be easier playing single player because you're not going to have someone around to sit there all day. And also, since the time stops when you log off, you're not going to be able to log off and then come back in a couple hours later and your baby's hatched. So this one's just going to be much easier so that when you're playing the game, the eggs are going to hatch much faster. I'm also going to make baby mature speed 10 so that you don't have to sit there for 12 hours waiting for your baby to grow. That's just a waste of time, especially since you're playing single player. So yeah, just move those up to 10. Keep the next three the same. That would be food consumption speed, harvest health, and resources spawn period. Move baby cuddle interval multiplier down to 0.4. This one you can keep all the way down to day cycle. You can keep those all the same. Daytime speed, also keep that the same, but make nighttime speed 2. That's just gonna make it so that the nighttime goes much faster and you have more time in the day to do stuff, so that you can just see what you're doing better. That just makes life a lot easier. You can skip all of these down to crop growth speed. I'm gonna make that one 5, so that crops grow much faster, because obviously, like I've said time and time again, you cannot log off and just come back in and your crops will be grown. That just doesn't happen in single player. So if you put this at 5, you can just go around doing your stuff and come back and they'll be grown, unlike official servers and other dedicated servers. Crop decay, I'm going to make that 4 so that you have more time to come and harvest your crops. Alright, so now for the dino and player stats. Keep wild dinos the same. That's just going to mess up everything if you change those, because you'll end up with a like a Rex, a level 1 Rex with like 10 million health, and you just don't want that. That's going to be really hard to kill. So for tame dino stats per level, just make all of these 1 like I have right here. This is just going to make it so that when you tame a dinosaur, their stats are going to change by 1%, because this one's by default at like 0.2%, and that barely moves the health. So if you put it at 1, it's going to make the health a lot higher, but not too high. So down here at Tame Dinos add per level, this category is going to make the whenever you add a level onto a dinosaur, it's going to add these percentages. So say you tame the dinosaur and the health is going to go up. The multiplier that the health is going to go up is at 1%, and when you add a level, then the health will go up at 1% if you have it at 1. So yeah, at Tame Dinos add per level, just make all of these 1, except for health and damage. I'm going to make those 0.5, because those two are just going to be way overpowered if you have it at 1. You're going to end up with a T-Rex with 10 million health and 10,000 damage, and that's just not fun to play with. Alright, so you can skip Tame Dino Stats Affinity, and at player stats per level, this is what's going to add onto your player whenever you level up. So I'm just going to put 2 for health, 3 for food and water, and then for weights, you can do 2 to 2.5. I'm just going to put it at 2, and if I need to move it up during my playthrough, I'll move it to 2.5. But anything above that, that's just really overpowered. That's what RGs are for, carrying a lot of stuff. And finally, put your speed at 3. For experience multipliers, keep them all the same except for kill. Put that one at 2. So the reason I'm not making these really high is because if you go back to general, you can see XP multiplier move to 2. I'm actually going to make that 2.5, so you can go change that also. So back in advanced, just make kill 2 and leave the others the same. And for miscellaneous settings, a lot of these don't really matter, except I'm going to check flyer platform biasing. What this is going to do is just make it so that people that aren't on in your tribe can stand on flyer platforms instead of sliding off. That's just if you're playing online or with friends. Another one I'm going to turn on is passive hurt dinos. This is going to make it so that wild dinos and tame dinos that aren't saddled can get hurt by spikes. And then I'm going to turn on show floating damage text. What this is going to do is just make it so that if you get hit or you hit something or your dino hits something, there's going to be a number that floats above that's going to show the amount of damage. That's just really helpful. And then after that, down here on these sliders, move loot crate quality and fishing loot quality to 5, because fishing loot and loot crates at their default value just suck. They're absolutely awful. So if you move those up, that'll help a lot. And then you can also move the increased platform structure limit to 5. That's just going to increase the amount of structures you can place on a dino platform to make bigger bases. And yeah, that should be it for advanced. Keep all of these Ingrams because you're going to need all of them. If you wanted to, say, make a harder playthrough where you didn't allow beds or something, just that would be absolute hell to put yourself through. But if you want to do that, you can just click on that and double click it actually, and that'll turn it off. I'm just going to keep them all on. And yeah, that should be all for the settings. Now for the mods, I have a bunch of just quality of life mods right here that I'm going to add. I'm going to have a link to all of them down in the description so you can check them out and see which ones you want to add. So I'm just going to add all of these classic flyers. This one will allow you to upgrade speed on flyers like you used to be able to. That's just a lot easier. Terrariums, that's just an aesthetic thing. Pickup Dino mod. This one allows you to put any dinosaur on your shoulder. Crystal Clear, that makes the water really clear. Upgrade Station, this one allows you to upgrade all your gear, the modifier on them. So like say you wanted to upgrade your flak armor to the highest, which is I don't really remember the highest modifier, but if say you wanted to, then you could do it with this upgrade station. This is just another aesthetic mod. Super Spyglass just adds more things that to the Spyglass, like the dinosaur health and such. You've probably seen it in ARK mod playthroughs if you've watched one of those on YouTube. Structures Plus, Platforms Plus, those will just add better building. Stacking, this will just make it so that you can, some items will have higher stack amounts like meat. Instead of 20, it'll be like say 200 or something like that. I'm not sure the exact values, but you can go check that out in the description. Meat Spoiler adds a, it kind of looks like the industrial cooker, but it spoils meat really fast, and that's just really helpful if you want to tame a scorpion or something, or whatever you do with spoiled meat. Death Helper, Egg and Poop Collector, this one will just, like an egg incubator and such, hatch eggs easier. It's just quality of life stuff. You may consider it cheating, but you can just go look at it in the description, and if it looks like something you might want, you can add it. Dino Bars will add like a health bar that you can see if you're not close to it. Just adds easier, like, it just makes it easier if you're trying to kill something. Dino Patrol System, this one you can make it, just like you can put a dinosaur on wandering, you can make it patrol like an area. And yeah, those should be all the mods that I'm going to add. And again, those are down in the description, so if you want to check them out, they'll be there. And yeah, that's basically all for ARK stats, settings, and mods. This should make life so much easier playing single player. These will work on any of the maps, so you can do the island, Scorched Earth, Aberration, Extinction, even the custom arcs and custom maps that you download from the workshop. It should also work on dedicated servers. Anyway, I hope this video helped you out. If it did, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.